Great news, Tar Heels fans. All Carolina has to do is score 22 points against Florida State, and they're guaranteed to win.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Friday, November 1st. How is it November? I got too much trick-or-treating candy in me. Sir, I'm about 5 pounds too heavy today. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Shea, joined today by our good buddy, Denora Cersei, and you're joining us at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks so much for making this your first listen or watch. Want to remind you that you can catch every episode ad-free on Amazon Music. It's great stuff. Special shout out to the everydayers joining us, all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, and of course, you Locked On Tar Heels insiders who are getting locked in for another basketball season upcoming. Let's get right into it. This episode's brought to you by FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, sirs, we're getting ready to go down to Tallahassee for a game against Florida State. We're going to try to figure out what on earth is happening to the Seminoles. I think Bobby Bowden is somewhere turning over in that poor man's grave. We're going to get to our what to watch for. We got to get to our big picture outlook. Tar Heels are back in the winning column. What does it mean for the rest of the season? We're going to give our game predictions. We got our weekend whip around, getting you ready for everything else going on in Carolina athletics. This weekend going to be a fun one. Let's get right into it. All right, sir, so let me set the scene here. I joked in the intro about Carolina just needing to score 22 to win, and here's why. Florida State is 1-7 this season. Let me give you their point totals in order. 21, 13, 12, 14, 16, 13, 16, 14. That's an average of 14.9 points a game. Right. And so they scored 21 against Georgia Tech in Ireland to open. You know, they haven't scored 20 points on American soil, sirs. I'm realizing that in real time. So what has on earth has gone wrong for this team that's only beaten Cal so far this season?
I believe, yeah. For one, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. But the fact that they lost so many guys and they just tried to pick and plug with guys who transferred in through the portal and whatnot, and it hasn't worked out so far this year for them. So I hope it continues against the Carolina Tar Heels. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard. It's hard. Like, I mean, it's a lot of questions going on with the coaches, whether they're going to keep them, whether they're going to release them, and it's hard because you can say that they had a bad year, they didn't perform up to their criteria, but last year they was undefeated and they won the ACC. They just with the quarterback out, they had to just play in the Orange Bowl, and that was it. But you can't doubt them. They just having a bad year because they expected the quarterback to come in and be what they be, if not greater than what they lost last year. But he wasn't up to par. He was a guy that was at Clemson a few years ago, lost his job to a true freshman, went to Oregon. I figured he played good enough, but obviously not. He came back to Florida State, and now he's playing in the SEC, and he's not living up to the par. So with guys like that, you gotta make game decisions and coaches' decisions. And now that the coaches are, in position where their livelihood maybe I'm saying maybe. That's why you saw my expression. I'm like, maybe their jobs are in question, but you don't know because it's 1 year to another year. And I can see if they had 3 straight bad years, and I would say, yeah, that coaching staff is probably out of there. But with them going undefeated and going to AC championship and then going to a major bowl, of course, they lost to Georgia because a lot of the guys who's on the team they opted out not to play in the game. So you can't fault Florida State for that because with it being a college football playoffs, and they would have a chance to be in there, you don't know if everybody would have played. So you can't base last year's off of it. So
that's right.
So yeah, I agree. Like I don't think the coaching staff is going anywhere. I believe they get one more year because if it was the playoff format of how it is now, I believe Florida State would have had a chance to get in there, and they would at least had a shot. They may would have lost. They may would have lost like how they lost in the Orange Bowl to Georgia, but we don't know. That's one of those scenarios we'll never know because of the way the format was. It was just 4 teams, but now it's a legitimate playoff, so you don't know. But I believe the coaching staff at Florida State had one more year, but I don't want them to start clicking against us.
No,
exactly.
And and it's so tough for last year. I mean, you got to think they get into the playoff with a healthy Jordan Travis. I think that was such a big part of that. But like you said, DJU, man, he just hasn't done it, Denoris. And it seems like this is part of the deal in the transfer portal era is you could turn around one year and have a phenomenal team and then be just god awful the next year or vice versa. Like if you're terrible right now, get some boosters, go out, spend the money, and you could be great next year. And I think this is part of the landscape of college athletics that is becoming more like the NFL if we're sticking with football, or like the NBA and college basketball is. And so it's just, you never know. We look at it on paper and it seems to make sense. But then when you get out on the field and the pieces don't add up to a sum that's greater than the parts.
I would say I hope guys understand that when you transfer like that and you go to another school, you can't be lazy because guys get traded for teams in the NFL. They go through free agency, but they understand like whatever the contract is, that's what's expected of me.
Yeah,
I would like guys to also in college to understand the same thing. Like, yeah, you was a 4-star, 5-star in high school and whatnot. You played a significant amount of snaps in college before you decided to transfer. Just understand, like, even if you get NIL and whatnot, just understand why you're there. Like, it's a grind. It's a daily grind every day. Like, either you're grinding to be the top guy at your position at your school, or you're grinding to get to that point. So you just got to be mindful of that. But I always respect the grind and respect the hustle for sure. Yeah, that's my main thing for sure. Because I think like some guys like they come into school and then they get to a point where I feel like I should be playing. Then they may not be playing because some guys the ego gets involved. So he may feel as though he needs to be playing because he was the top guy at the school, but you don't know the defense. You don't know what a 4-3 is. You don't know because I met players on both sides of the spectrum. I met players on the side where they played a pro-style defense, so they was familiar with terminology. And I also played with guys that didn't know at all. So like some guys didn't even know personnel. They traded thought would just run to the ball and get to the ball. So it gets like that at times. So that's when the adaptation comes in, and you got to be able to learn, and you got to be able to push through that to get to the next level.
Sir, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just saying that's part of the next level.
Yeah, it really is. And look, you mentioned getting back to the Florida State side of things, that there could be a week when they put it all together. And the thing that we got to watch out for is to not allow it to be this week. Because on one hand, it could be that it's too late for these Seminoles, that the ship has sailed. They've kind of mailed it in. They're just going through the motions like, hey, let's get these final games out the way and just call this season done and what it is. So maybe they have given up. Maybe Coach Norvell's lost the locker room. But, this could be a time to rally the troops. They're just coming off having played at Miami. Next week, they got to go to South Bend and play Notre Dame. And the Tar Heels are sandwiched in between those. So there's also like this trap game possibility for the Seminoles, who, again, just lost at Miami, about to go to Notre Dame with the Tar Heels in between. So there's all this weird mixture, sirs. How do you, if you're the coaching staff, how do you pull that together to say, let's make this our week? How do the Tar Heels stop that from happening and make them say, let's give up?
Well, if I'm 1-7, I'm Florida State, I'm playing spoiler. I'm trying to. By this time, I'm 1-7. We're not going to a bowl game. So,
no.
If I'm going home,
that math is done. Like mathematically, they cannot.
So if I'm going home this Christmas, I want you to go home with me. So I'm that's it's being petty, but it's also being a competitor.
Absolutely.
At the most. So like, I'm Florida State, and UNC sitting at 4-4 right now, so they have a chance to at least win 6-7 games and get into a bowl game. But if I'm Notre Dame, first off, Florida State first. I'm definitely I'm trying to ruin everybody else. Like, we all going home. Like, if your team not legitimate, you're not beating me, you're not moving on. So that's my objective. If I'm Notre Dame, I'm not Notre Dame, I'm Florida State, because since Florida State is 1-7, they're not going. So I'm trying to send as many people home as possible. And then also, if I'm Carolina on the other side, I want to get a win. Like, that's obvious. We have a chance to get to a bowl game. We're 4-4. I believe we have 4 games left. So
Florida State and 3 more. Yep.
Right. So 4 total. Anything can happen. We can finish. We can finish 8-4 and get to a bowl game. And no matter what the bowl game is, because depending on who's on the team, who's projected to go win the draft, they're not gonna play. So, but it gives the younger guys an opportunity to get out on the field, get a chance to showcase their skill. They get 2 weeks of practice and just focusing on them before they step out there. Well, the way the season going, if there is by chance a coaching change, like I don't like talking about it, because it's at the end of the day, it's dealing with somebody's livelihood and somebody's job. But yeah, if there is a coaching change at the end of the year, it gives opportunity for the new head coach to come in and get a good look at the team without any major pressures of a ball game, especially with it being because it'll probably be 2-3 weeks before they play. So I'm just estimating. I don't know for sure. But if the university chooses to go another way, we don't know. But you just listen to the antics, and you listen to people talking that this may be coach's last year, and if it is, then this will give the new coach an opportunity to look at the team and look at what he needs to do to fix it and make UNC more of a contender. So yes, again, reverting back to what we talked about, Carolina sitting at 4-4. If we get those last 4 games, we'll be 8-4, go to a bowl game. If not, we're gonna be going home, because we're gonna be facing teams for the remainder of the season that's hoping to send us home and to keep us out of the playoffs. So we have to be on our P's and Q's and be ready to play every week.
That's right. Absolutely. Okay, it is time for us to get to our what to watch for. Right, we're going to head down to Tallahassee. Was what the defense did last week at Virginia a one-off, or is this the new normal we can expect from this team with Kamen Rucker fully back? We're going to try to look at that and so much more coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about 5 Hour Energy. Hey, look, our friends at 5 Hour Energy over there, man, they know that being a passionate football fan is not just a hobby, it's a way of life. It takes a lot of energy to power through all-day tailgates, touchdown celebrations, or an agonizing second overtime. That's why they created the Stand the Fan 5 Hour Energy Shot with the special flavor that's called Fan Fuel. The energy shot made just for super fans like you and me, who are the first in the parking lot and the last to leave. They see you. You know what's giving us Tar Heel Fan Fuel this week? The fact that we are just 3 or 4 days away from the tip-off of the regular season of college basketball. It's here. It's coming. Buckle up and get ready for that. Plus, that first game is late coming up on Monday night. I'm going to need some 5 Hour Energy for our live postcast. 5 Hour Energy knows that no matter what team you root for, being a fan requires heart and soul and a ton of energy. So whether you're prepping for that big tailgate, you're ironing your new jersey, your game day to-do list is always a mile long. That's why the limited edition Stand the Fan 5 Hour Energy Shot is here to help keep you fueled throughout the season. What's your fan fuel this week? Well, whatever it is, do it with 5 Hour Energy. Available on 5hourenergy.com. shipped nationwide. It's time for the what to watch for as Carolina heads down to Tallahassee to take on the Noles. They try to get that chop going, sirs, but we know it's all about the Braves with that tomahawk chop, baby. Get out of our lane. Leave that to the Bravos. All right, sirs, what to watch for? You kick us off. Point number one.
What to watch for is the performance against Virginia. If it's a fluke or if it's something that we can capitalize on and keep moving forward as a defense. Me personally, I hope so. I love it. Was it 10 sacks, 2 picks, 1 on pick 6, Javari Ritchie.
Come on, Javari, baby, getting after it.
Big rumbling and stumbling. I love it, man. I love it, man. I love it when the defensive guys can step up and make plays to help the teams win. I mean, it's one like I remember Von Miller saying, like, when you rush the passer, you get a chance. It's a full category. You get a chance to get a sack. You get a tackle for loss, sack, forced fumble, and if you're lucky, you get a fumble recovery or a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So the fact that we was able to score, we was able to get turnovers on defense for one, and then able to score on defense, that's the main thing. Because when you're able to score on 2 of the 3 phases of the game, man, you have a chance. It's always a good positive, like 90% chance that you're going to win the game. And then we had an offense that was turning on that day. Then we had a defense that was scored on we had a defense that scored that day as well. So we scored on 2 of the 3 phases, and it was great, man. It was great to see, especially with the team coming off of an emotional week.
That's right.
With bearing a close friend, a close teammate, a colleague. I had to bear a close friend from high school that I known since I was about in the 6th grade. From about 6th grade until we was 27. I've known him. Then he perished. So I know how it feels to be with somebody every day, and then you have to lose somebody. It's a tough feeling. So for the team to bounce back after an emotional week and then to go on the road. Because hey, up there at UVA, that's not an easy place to play. No. So for you to be able to go on the road and go there and play and get a win of that caliber and to show out the way you did on defense, man, is great. So I just want the defense to what my what's to watch for is can the defense repeat it? Because they know when it's possible they're going against a team that's struggling. So they can't go in there and just be like, yeah, this team's struggling. It's gonna be an easy win. Still gotta go down there and play. They are at home, but yes, can they? My what to watch for is can they repeat what they did against UVA and go out and be even dominant against a struggling Florida State team?
Yeah, absolutely. And getting Kamen Rucker back fully, I thought was a major difference for their team. It just really changed the dynamics of how things looked on the line and then what it meant for the secondary and how all those pieces worked together on defense, sir. And like,
man, I was like, they had him on pitch count when he first came back,
but not anymore.
Remember, he was just playing third
downs, and not even all of those, but now
all of them. But then we was able to play the full game, and it's like, okay,
it's a different maker.
8 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, the interception. Like, yeah, you let them play, let them go at it. You're like,
absolutely,
the best players got to play. I hate the fact that coaches got to think they got to cater to the transfer portal, and guys may leave, and you don't know who's staying and whatnot. But so it made players lazy. So. Because they don't want they know they're like, if I don't play here, I can go somewhere else. So they made them lazy. Because if you knew you committed there, you signed your 11-10, and this is where I'm going to be for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And if you're that good, you'll buckle down and you'll get better and keep getting better and find ways to get on the field to showcase your skills. So I love it. I love the fact that he was able to come back and bounce back, and it ain't like I don't get me wrong. What's it, Mack Brown and those guys,
Kirby, those guys filling in. Yeah,
right, they was filling in for him.
Yep,
they was playing good, but you could easily see his impact when he's playing
immediately,
consistently. Like the week before he was on pitch count, and then, like you said, well, like we both said, and you said, like he only played like a few crucial third downs, but his impact of being in there on every down is him being on the field every down. I believe that's part of the reason we got 10 sacks, because if they double team him, somebody else was coming over and getting a sack. When they had to play balance and not double team him, he was getting a sack. 3 sacks, 8 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and interception. That's insane. That shows you right. That tells you right now the motor of the kid. If we can't double him, if we double him, somebody else is getting there. That's how the rest of the D line should be. If we don't double him, he's getting there. That's the point blank answer. And he's been getting there when he knows he's getting double teamed. So when he has the opportunity to go one-on-one against offensive tackles and things of that nature, he should have that confidence to be a game checker, a game changer, and a game wrecker for sure.
Yeah. What to watch for point number 2? For me, it felt like Jacoby Criswell looked the most comfortable against Virginia running the offense that he had all season thus far. I'd like to see much more of that, please, from him. And so just like there was better touch. It felt like he had a better pocket awareness of when to stay in, when to go ahead and pick up that yardage on the ground. Like there was a 2nd and 20 where he got, I think it was 19 of them on the ground himself. And then Carolina was able to get that first down. And so just really feels like he's finding his way more and more into this thing. And I'd like to see that again tomorrow in Tallahassee. Sirs, what's point number 3 of the what to watch for?
Point number 3 of what to watch for is oh Lord.
You were talking earlier about Carolina getting down to Florida State, Mack Brown getting his first ever win against the Noles.
Yeah, can he come down there? Can he go down there and pull it off? It's gonna be. I mean, again, even though Florida State is 1-7, they're playing at home. So can you go down there? Can you execute? Can you get the win? It's not going to be – the stadium is not going to be as impactful as it normally be, because the team is not up to caliber to the community of Florida State. So I believe North Carolina will have more so – Tar Heel fans in general will have more so of advantage of being down there and being more so more representative of Florida State fans. But can we keep it up, man? Can we get the win? Can we keep it going? I hate the fact that Florida State is in the slump, because I got recruited by Florida State, but at the end of the day, I'm a Tar Heel. So we need to go ahead and make that statement, especially if some of the guys on the team remember the QB for Florida State was the QB at Clemson that beat us back in 2022. So now 2024, he's not doing so good, and he's a starting quarterback. So if I was the guys, I'm licking my chops.
Payback, little revenge.
I gotta get him. For the. If I'm in the secondary, I'm telling D line if we get 10 sacks, and we're gonna have 3 interceptions, like, because he's gonna have to throw a couple of them before he's set. So I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, because at the end of the day, anything can happen. I'm not playing. So,
but if Denora Cersei was out there would be a ball going back the other way. I think
Florida State was playing the way they playing now, and I was there, Denora Cersei's getting an interception.
I love it. And might need it if Marcus Allen ain't back out this week, as he was missing last week. So
right. But again, I can only speak for the time frame I was playing. I gotta adjust the errors to where where Florida State offense is now as compared to when I was playing. Because when I was playing, Florida State offense was on point. They was clicking. They had Christian Ponder, they had EJ Manuel, 2 back-to-back quarterbacks. Both of them went in the first round.
Yeah.
EJ Manuel became my teammate. That's my guy. Plus, I met EJ Manuel when I was the summer going into my senior year. He was going into his junior year. We was at the Rising junior and senior camp at Virginia Tech, and I met EJ. So EJ been a real good close friend. So, So when he was there, Christian Ponder was there, Florida State was on point. But I can't vouch for him now. So I mess with him now about it. But yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what to watch for? Point number 4. J.J. Jones had a career game last week, had that unbelievable touchdown catch right before halftime, somehow keeping that 1 foot in even as there was some DPI going on around him. Really, really good. That was the game, the experience I needed and wanted to see from him, and we finally got that, Denoris.
Absolutely.
And especially now that Bryson Nesbitt is out, JJ and the rest of the receiving core and John Copenhaver, they're going to have to continue to deliver those kind of performances to take pressure off of Criswell, to take pressure off of Omarion Hampton. Right. That's what we need to see.
Absolutely.
All right, sirs. We're going to get now to our game predictions. First, we're going to zoom back out a little bit. Heels got back on the right track last week. Can they go on a little bit of a run here to close out the season? I want to get your opinion on that. We'll get our game predictions and the weekend whip around all coming at you in just a second. Right after I tell you about FanDuel, look, get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more right there on the same page where you place your bets. How about this football game? The Tar Heels are favored in Tallahassee by 2.5 over the Noles, and Carolina heading into their first basketball game of the season, favored by 29.5 over Elon. If you want to get in on any of that action, go check it out at FanDuel.com today. Again, you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Never waste a hunch and go make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Okay, sirs, before we get to the kind of details of this game, make our predictions. You hit on this a little bit earlier, but I want to bring it back around. Look, Carolina started this season 3-0, then went on that 4-game losing streak, multiple of which they should have won. But now they do come back, get that win at Virginia, and maybe hope springs eternal a little bit. So Carolina has these 4 games left at Florida State tomorrow, a week off, hosting Wake, then at BC, and then, of course, wrapping the regular season, letting the Wolf Puppies come to town.
Wolf Puppies, yes.
The Tar Heels need 2 of those games to be bowl eligible, but I don't even sure, that's fine and good, but, sirs, I'm even thinking a little bigger than that, and you mentioned this number earlier. There is a world in which every one of these games is winnable if you take it one game at a time. There is not a single one of these games that is like beyond Carolina's capability to win. Absolutely. From what you saw last week, from the talent you know on this team, from this coaching staff, do you believe this team can go on a bit of a run here to close the regular season?
Absolutely. With the way the defense performed last week against UVA, if they can continue to build on that confidence and continue to trust in each other and continue to play with one another, I believe it's possible for sure. Because when they showed last week that they was be able to be dominant and get the ball back to the offense had more chances to put points on the board, and then it turned into the opposing team panicking, and now they trying to make a play. And then that gives our defense a chance to make plays when teams feel like they have the rush to try to come back into a game and whatnot, depending on the score of the game at that point in time. It allows our defense to be able to gamble more because teams on offense that tend to be in more of a desperate situation where they got to put points on the board, they tend to make more mistakes and they tend to make more chances. So us as a defense, if we play our technique, we'll be able to get our hands on the ball and be able to get the ball back to our offense. If not be able to create our own turnovers and create scores with it, we'll be able to get the ball back to our offense.
Man, I loved the attack mode that Jeff Collins' unit was in last week. Would love to see that again. Don't give this Florida State offense that has no life, don't give them any. Let it stay dead with all the ghosts from Halloween from yesterday. That's what we're looking for. Sirs, Here's the game details. Let's make some predictions. Saturday, November 2nd, 3:30 Eastern at Florida State on ACC Network. Finally off of the CW along with Dawson's Creek. We're glad for that. Seminoles, my man, are 1-7.
Hey man, leave the CW alone because I used to watch Fallville, dude.
I'm sure Pacey's having a good day somewhere. It's all good. Seminoles are
supernatural. So you talk about Dawson's Creek. Yeah, I'm laughing, but I can't laugh too hard because I was watching the CW like a mug.
We messed with that when we were kids, man. That was our high school. Okay, Florida State 1-7, 1-6 in ACC play. Again, as a reminder, the only win they have is a 14-9 victory over Cal at home. Right. Have not scored 20 points on U.S. soil yet this season. Sirs, the Tar Heels are favored by 2.5. What is your prediction for this game?
My prediction for this game is, let's go 35-14 Carolina.
Okay, I was very close at that. My pick is 31-15. So we both are taking the Tar Heels to not only cover, but to win, and cover by a big margin there, my man. I'm going to say
I'm never going against Carolina unless they're going against an NFL team or something like that. If they're not going against an NFL team, I'm not betting against Carolina.
I love it. Look, Tar Heel, I'm going to throw some spice on it. Tar Heels have either a defensive or a special teams touchdown 3 games in a row. The Caleb Cost pick 6 3 games ago. You had the Huzzy punt return touchdown 2 games ago. And then we already talked about it, but the Glitzy Ritzy. Oh man, that's the new name for that baby.
In the words of I forget my guy's name, but people know what I'm talking about. He was rumbling, bumbling,
yes, John Madden.
Yes, John Madden. No, not John Madden. My guy.
Oh no, I can see his face.
It's been what?
Yes, Berman, Chris Berman. Good grief, there we go.
And it's crazy because I met Chris Berman 2014, my last year in Buffalo. He hosted Caesar Premier Barbecue and whatnot. He was drunk, man. His hair was hanging over to the side.
Oh my word!
But I was seeing him, and all I could think about in my head was what and stumbling. So to see Ritzy, first of all, to see Ritzy make a play for the defense is awesome.
Yep.
Then for him personally to experience, like returning the interception for a touchdown, like scoring as a defensive player is rare. Scoring as a big man is rare.
Big man is even rarer, yes. And at that, sometimes if you fall on a fumble or something.
And for it to be a pick 6. Because it could have been a fumble recovery. Most likely if a big man scores, it's a fumble recovery. But yes. So
great stuff.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him to get in the end zone, be able to share that moment. That's something he'll never ever forget. Because I've scored, twice as a defensive player in college. Like I've scored on every level. Like I've scored plethora of times in middle school, high school, college, and the NFL. So for him to be able to experience that, like, is great. And the fact for it to be a Tar Heel, and it couldn't happen to a better guy. So I'm proud of him.
Man, that's great. Well, I'm looking for a 4th straight game for the Tar Heels of a big play, either on defense or special teams. All right, Serge, let's get to that weekend whip around real quick. Update on all the fall sports going on at Carolina. Field hockey, still undefeated, 14-0, 7-0 in ACC play, ranked number 2 behind Northwestern still. The ladies are at number 6 Duke tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern on the ACC Network to close out the regular season. Heels, number 1 in the ACC at 7-0. Duke is number 2 in the ACC at 6-1. Going to be a big time top 10 matchup. Carolina got to go take care of business, and we expect them to because they are dominant. You guys know I've been giving you those stats all year long. It's insane how much they are bludgeoning opponents. Women's soccer and men's soccer, let's get to that. Women, unfortunately, lost to Duke at home last night on Thursday, 3-2 on senior night. The ladies fall to 4. Yes, it's bad, sirs. The ladies fall to 14-4 overall, 7-3 in ACC play. And so we'll see what's up next with the ACC tournament. The men are 9-2-4 overall, 4-2-1 in ACC play. They, like the women, are ranked 8th in the nation right now. They host BC tonight, 7:30 Eastern on ACC Network, right after the field hockey game, by the way, to close out their regular season. And so we'll keep our eyes on that one. Good news, Boston College has not won yet in ACC play, so the men should be able to handle that with ease. Volleyball, 17-2, 9-1 in the ACC, ranked 25th in the nation still. Second straight weekend at home, they host Clemson tonight at 7 Eastern on ACC Network Extra. Clemson is winless in ACC play, so again, should be a win for the Tar Heels, but you got to go out and do it. And then Sunday, they host number 16 Georgia Tech at noon on ACC Network Extra. Got to handle business there. And then finally, wrapping it all up, here's the big one, ACC Championships today for cross country. It's actually probably already happened by the time you're listening to or watching this. Happens in Cary, North Carolina at Wake Med Soccer Park on ACC Network. The men are the defending champions of the ACC, looking to go back-to-back for the first time since 1963 when they won 3 in a row. Parker Wolf is looking to defend his individual title, and so big-time stuff there. The men's race is at 9:30. The women are at 10:30 right after that. They finished 5th last year. So big-time stuff. We're getting into postseason for all these fall sports, sir. It's good stuff, man.
It's crazy. I need to be an ambassador for Carolina.
You got to get after it, dude. I love it. Make it happen.
I need to be paid to be an ambassador for Carolina because all those events I will most definitely be at. They gotta hook me up. Give me a mic.
And let's get it going. All right, gang. It's going to be a big weekend for Carolina. Lots of stuff happening right there in Chapel Hill. Make sure to get in on all that. Obviously, the football team is not there, so you got to find some other sports to support on campus. Guys, you know the drill. We'll be back with you Saturday after the game for a live reaction postcast. Same thing Monday night after the men's basketball team tips off against Elon. Be right back with you for a live reaction after that as well. If you haven't subscribed to the show, make sure to do so on video and audio so you don't miss a second of the show, and hit that bell notification as well. If you're not part of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, that link's in the show notes. Free to join. We'd love to have you there. Great conversation all the time. And if you want to go deeper, Locked On Tar Heels Insider, a great way to get to chat one-on-one with me through text and have free availability to all my stats and charts and data and record books and stuff like that. You know the drill. It's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll talk again tomorrow after the game. But until then, sirs, tell them.
Tell them, yo. Peace.